It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost. My name is Prathik Vinod. Let's get started. On the show today, the India versus Pakistan clash at the Asia Cup turned into yet another one-sided contest. But this time, the story wasn't about India's dominant win. It was about a no-handshake row, empty stands and a national anthem mix-up that left Pakistan red-faced. With fans already boycotting the fixture and Indian players showing their stance, the big question now is, should India even continue playing Pakistan given the massive difference in quality and the toxic backdrop? Next up, in Spain, a major cycling race was thrown into chaos after pro-Palestinian demonstrations erupted. Over 100,000 protesters clashed with 1,000 policemen. The grand finale descended into a stampede-like situation. Raising a serious question, can global sporting events ever be insulated from political flashpoints, or is this the new reality international competitions must face? All that and more lined up, but first, let's take a look at the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with football and the Premier League, Manchester City crushed their city rivals Manchester United 3-0. Phil Foden scored the opener. Erling Haaland followed up with a brace. United have only won once in 4 matches this season. Meanwhile, Liverpool continue their unbeaten run with a 1-0 win over Burnley. The defending champions are top of the table with 4 wins in as many matches. Moving to tennis, India scripted history at the Davis Cup by beating Switzerland 3-1. This was India's first away win against a European nation in 32 years. Sumit Nagal dominated against the Swiss opponents. With this, India have secured their place in the 2026 qualifiers. Over in cricket, South Africa's final T20 match against England was abandoned without a ball being bowled. Persistent rains affected the series decider, and with this, the 3-match series ended in a 1-all draw. Before this, South Africa won the ODI series 2-1. News from hockey, India suffered a heartbreak at the Women's Asia Cup. The women in blue finished as runners-up after losing 1-4 to hosts China. India failed to hold on to their first-minute lead via Navneet Kaur. China scored thrice in the second half to win their 3rd title. With this, China have also confirmed their spot at next year's Hockey World Cup. India, of course, will have to play the qualifiers. And summing it up with boxing, India's Jasmine Lamboria won gold at the Women's World Championship. The 24-year-old outclassed Paris Olympics silver medalist Yulia Sharameta 4-1. This marks her first world title in 3 attempts. The India versus Pakistan Asia Cup clash, once the glamour fixture of world cricket. This time, it ended in total embarrassment for Pakistan. India didn't just outplay them by 7 wickets. Off the field, the game turned into a nightmare for our neighbours. A no-handshake drama, the national anthem confused with a popular music track, empty stands, all of it begging the question, should India even be playing Pakistan anymore? From the moment the match began, it was a parade of humiliation for Pakistan. First came the national anthem blunder. Yep, instead of the national anthem, the speakers blared a music track. A technical glitch maybe, but the symbolism is quite hard to ignore. On the field, it was business as usual. India dominated every facet, dismissing Pakistan without breaking a sweat. Another one-sided affair. But what was different this time? The buzz. The same fixture that would once sell out within minutes failed to even fill a 25,000-seater in Dubai. Saw the pictures there. Tickets that should have been gone in a flash were still unsold. Why? Because fans themselves had moved on. Hashtag boycott was actually trending stronger than hashtag India versus Pakistan. After the Pahalgam terror attack, the message was clear. Fans weren't just watching cricket, they were making a statement. And the Indian team followed suit. After the match, the players refused to shake hands with the Pakistani players. That's right, the Pakistani players stood waiting and India just walked away. And this was no accident. Suryakumar Yadav, the captain, made it very clear why they did it.
We stand by the victims of the families of the Pahalgam terror attack. We want to dedicate this win to all our armed forces. Hope they continue to inspire us all and we give them more reasons on the ground whenever we get an opportunity.
Now, a handshake is a global symbol of sportsmanship and India deliberately broke with tradition. Criticism was expected and it came. Journalists questioned Suryakumar Yadav, was this against the spirit of sport? His response, straight and unshaken. But the statement did not end with Surya. Reportedly, the whole stance was strategized by head coach Gautam Gambhir. And he didn't shy away from taking ownership either.
This match was important because as a team, we wanted to show our solidarity towards the victims of the Pahalgam attack.
Now, usually head coaches would dance around diplomatic landmines, but not Gambhir. He was blunt and he was direct. And that speaks volumes. It wasn't a solo move, it was a team decision. Pakistan, of course, didn't take it lightly. They have reportedly filed a formal complaint with the Asian Cricket Council claiming disrespect. But here's the reality. The disrespect began when this fixture stopped being about cricket and turned into a circus of politics, of tensions and symbolism. The empty seats said it all. The fans have had enough. The Indian team made its stance. And the question now isn't whether India should shake hands, it's whether India should even be playing Pakistan in the first place. Because for long, the organizing bodies such as the ICC and the ACC have capitalized on India versus Pakistan and their rivalry. But is that rivalry the same anymore? I'm not just asking because of the geopolitical tensions. The India versus Pakistan matches stood for close contests. It was about the two sides having a go at each other in every department. But lately, it's become extremely one-sided. Let's be honest, what was once a showstopper is now a spectacle of embarrassment for Pakistan. A top-tier side, India, facing a struggling cricket team in Pakistan. The ACC wanted to capitalize on the rivalry. Instead, they are left with empty stands, anthem mix-ups and political drama. So I guess the verdict is already out. The fans have spoken, the players have spoken, and if the organizers still push this fixture just for the money, the India-Pakistan rivalry risks losing the very essence that made it legendary.
De la Vuelta. La Vuelta patrocina Israel. Boicota Israel. Boicota Israel.
A ver, una.
Another day, another race, and yet another pro-Palestinian protest disrupting a major sporting event. But this time, the scale was unprecedented. The grand finale of La Vuelta España, Spain's most prestigious cycling race, never reached its finish line. Why? Because thousands of protesters stormed the streets of Madrid, clashing with police, all over the participation of one Israeli team. And the result? A global sporting spectacle collapsing into complete chaos. And it raises a big question. Can international sporting events really stay insulated from political flashpoints anymore, or is this the new normal? Sports for decades has been defined by what we call last-minute drama. Manchester United winning games in the so-called Fergie time. Novak Djokovic stealing the 2019 Wimbledon from Federer in a marathon finish. Moments that proved that nothing is over until the final whistle is blown. But today, that spirit feels lost because now sporting events are not even being allowed to finish. Take a look at this. At the finale of the La Vuelta a España in Madrid, cyclists were forced to abandon the race. More than 100,000 protesters blocked the finish line. 1,000 policemen were deployed in a desperate attempt to control the situation, but instead of restoring order, violence erupted. Streets turned into a battlefield. 22 officers were injured, and this race was left in tatters. Now let's be clear, this did not come out of nowhere. The presence of Israel's tech-based cycling team had triggered protests all through the tournament. La Vuelta, once known for passion, endurance and sheer grit, has now become a battleground of geopolitics.
Israel asesina. La Vuelta patrocina. Israel asesina. Boicot a Israel.
Now, I know what you're thinking. These are just angry fans. Well, think again. Spain's own leadership has fueled the fire. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez openly praised these protests.
I was seeing earlier a Palestinian flag over there, and I wanted to say some things on that regard. Firstly, as you know, today the Vuelta a España comes to an end. Our Vuelta a España cycling race. And first of all, I'd like to express our absolute recognition and respect to the sports people, but also to express our admiration for Spanish people, which mobilizes for fair causes like the Palestinian one.
That was the Prime Minister of Spain. He even said the demonstrations made him proud. So when the head of the government validates the protests, can anyone be surprised that citizens turned Spain's biggest cycling race into a political rally? But those words did not just stay in Madrid. They sparked outrage in Israel as well.
Today, he encouraged demonstrators to take to the streets. The pro-Palestinian mob heard the incitement messages and wrecked the La Vuelta cycling race.
And cycling isn't the only sport caught in this crossfire. In chess, 7 Israeli players were forced to withdraw from a tournament in Spain. Why? Because organizers told them they would not be allowed to compete under the Israeli flag. Let that sink in. The Global Chess Federation, of FIDE, has not banned Israel. They banned Russia over the war in Ukraine. They've sanctioned Belarus, but Israel, FIDE still recognizes their participation. So how can a Spanish organizer override that? It's something that shows something deeper. Spain is taking a political stance that directly sidelines Israeli athletes regardless of what global federations say. And this is where the bigger issue lies. Sports has always been called the great equalizer, a field where nationality, politics and conflict take a back seat. But increasingly, we are seeing the opposite. Global sport isn't escaping politics anymore, it's being consumed by it. Cyclists couldn't cross the finish line. Chess players could not sit across the board. Fans could not separate competition from conflict. For now, Madrid sent a clear warning to the world. In today's climate, no sport is safe from geopolitics. And maybe this is the new normal that we're going to see going forward. Time for Last Serve. We are taking you to Libya, where a truck pulling competition caught everyone's attention. 12 athletes took part in the second edition of this unique event. And such is the rising popularity of this sport that authorities are now planning to open a dedicated training center for aspiring strongmen. Take a look at this. That's all we have for you on this edition of Firstpost. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.